May I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Hope everyone is having a good time out there. It's going to be an interesting go here. We've got the little pullback that we're expecting. So yeah, let's see where we go from here towards our big bull market rally that we're expecting into Q4, and we may have a very extended cycle coming up. 4-year cycle might get extended quite a bit given where interest rates are, money printing, and of course debt as well. So yeah, we could have a very long cycle here, maybe pushing it towards a 5-year cycle. So it could be pretty exciting. So we're going to talk about that as well. Don't forget to get out there and share the show around on X. It really does help a lot. Obviously, today we're going to get into the stock market results for Thursday, US time. We're going to get into where the crypto market is and the pullback that we saw. And we're also obviously going to get into PulseChain. And we might talk about a bit about Gladiator Games as well, because it's got the tournament number 3 on this weekend. So if you like gaming, it's the place to be. And it's called The Return of the Empire. The Return of the Empire. It sounds pretty cool. So yeah, very, very exciting to talk about that. So yeah, get into the chat there, and don't forget to repost the show. That's all we can say right now. All we can say. And yeah, let's see where we go. Let's go to the US stock market and see how that is performing. And don't forget to get any questions or any comments in the chat there. We're also going to talk a little bit about security, actually. We might talk about that too. So I just want to say there are different things. Actually, let's wait till we get to PulseChain in there. We'll talk about that. So we'll talk about security around there. But let's get to the stock market first of all. So let's jump ship here. Not literally, but we got the S&P 500 falls as rising treasury yields blunt tech. And we've seen a couple of days of pullbacks this week. I think we opened up green, and every other day has been, I think, red, if I remember rightly. We can have a look at the weekly chart here on the Dow Jones. Okay, we had not too bad there on Tuesday, and then we've been down since Tuesday there. So we're down 0.4% today, 174 points to 46,000, almost 45,950. S&P 500 is down 0.5%, 33 points to 6,600, and we got the Nasdaq there down 0.5% as well, 113 points. So down today. Yeah, we had a little bit of a slow start on the Monday. We had a good Tuesday. It's been down all week since then. Nice to have a little bit of a little bit of profit taking, a little bit of a pullback in the stock market there. US dollar is at 98.14, so it's a little stronger there. Looking at commodities, we've got West Texas at $65.30, up 0.5%. Brent oil at $69.64, up 0.5% as well. We've got the gold at the moment at $37.75. So gold having a great time, up at 0.1%, $4. And silver there also looking really, really good. Silver's looking great. If you're holding a bag of silver, I think it's going to be a great season for you. It is currently $45.15, up 3.6 cents today. And we're expecting that to continue to push higher. So let's get into some of the news. We talked about this yesterday. We're going to have economic news, GDP, and I think CPE data. So yeah, inflation data there. Now we did get some revision there on some of the GDP. I think we've got the GDP numbers here. So yeah, sentiment has been hit of late by comments of the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who stated earlier this week that there is no risk-free path for the central bank as it weighs risks from both inflation and a core labour market. Now, we don't agree with anything he's saying, but he's the one that's got the power, right? So these cautious statements are about the path ahead for interest rates following last week's 25 basis point cut. Now that we've got the cut in play, we are expecting, and so is the bond market, expecting rate cuts continue the end of this year and into next year. So we are on that rate cycle, and that is the most bullish thing, right, for our crypto and risk on, right? So that's very, very important there. We won't lose sight of that. With this in mind, investors carefully digested the latest weekly jobs claims data, as well as final reading in the second quarter of GDP released earlier this session. First-time applications for unemployment benefits during the week ended we ended on September the 20th, came in at 218,000, a decrease of 14,000. That's generally a good sign. Meanwhile, US GDP, or what is the economic growth of the country, an indicator of growth in the world's largest economy, of course, is the United States, expanded by 3.8% during the April to June period. So good second quarter, according to the third and final estimate from the Commerce Department's Bureau of Economic Analysis. A prior estimate had suggested the US economy grew by 3.3% in the second quarter, so 3.8 is really good, after contracting by 0.5% in the opening 3 months of 2025. Initial estimate showed growth of 3%. Now, we are expecting that to start to really accelerate into Trump's golden age, but it takes time for tax policy and investments, everything to be built and play out. And we're still in the sort of I don't know, maybe 40% of the way through, 50% of the way through that mark. That's why we're expecting 2026 to be very, very good. Rate projections from the Fed last week suggested that most members were anticipating another half percentage point worth of cuts at the central bank's two meetings at the end of the year, October, December. So it's 25 basis points each. However, 7 of the 19 estimate forecast fewer reductions this year suggested the debate could be fierce heading into the next Fed gatherings. The implications are obviously hawkish, and given how much Fed easing anticipation has contributed to the equity rally of late, stocks will see pressure off the data. So that's some of the views there. Now, we've got a big number coming up on Friday, right? So all eyes are now on the release of the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, the personal and consumption expenditure, so the PCE. That is on Friday. So that could be really, really interesting for the markets tomorrow. So just take note of that. We'll see what happens there. We've also got the talk of the government shutdown again. It's come back around. Investors have been fretting over a looming partial government shutdown as usual, as lawmakers remain locked in a funding standoff, with both chambers struggling to agree on short-term extensions. Senate last week rejected a Republican-backed stopgap bill that would have kept the government funded until November 21st, citing Democratic opposition over the exclusion of healthcare and Medicaid provisions. They always politicize that for fake news. Politico report late Wednesday said that the White House Budget Office instructed federal agencies to prepare layoff plans could trigger mass firings if a government shutdown does occur. So there's some of the stuff there. Now, as you guys know, as a general rule, Trump is wanting to reduce the government size of the government and move a lot of those jobs into the private sector. This is also a way of decreasing the deep state. As you guys know, the Federal Reserve is contaminated with Democrats and progressives. And so, shrinking it is one of the easiest ways of dealing with it, as well as trying to, get rid of a lot of the worst offenders. But there are many. The US government is pretty big, right? So that is where we are right now. We have it here in New Zealand. We have the same thing in New Zealand, but our whole state departments are all contaminated. There's no one coming to save us. We've got them riddled. They have captured the system. So we have a democracy, but they've captured the democracy, and they literally have done that. They're now overruling. Not only that, but we have the same type of people in our corporates as well, all doing it. They're overturning democracy, the will of the people, and just putting in their own worldview. And that's pretty severe in New Zealand, pretty severe indeed. So, at least in America, you got Trump, the last man standing. And of course, he gave a fantastic speech at the UN the other day, which is completely corrupt and failing, right? So it was good news there. All right, so that is pretty much the economic news. So not too much else to say about that. Don't forget to get into the chat there as well. And if you are new to the show, don't forget to share the show around on X. That is the link there right now. But we're going to get into crypto because that's stock market had a bit of a pullback, but the crypto market had a decent dip, and of course it's come back towards our dip scenario. Right, we had this dip scenario here. In fact, let me see if I can bring up the chart on that. I think we had it here somewhere. Let me see. Let's see if we can pull that up. I think this one's got the. I don't know if this got. No, it hasn't got the view in it. So maybe it's my pulse chart that I was thinking of there. But we will pull up Ethereum as well. Why not? Let's do it. I'm going to check that out. All right. Yeah, let's go. Actually, no, the Ethereum chart's the one that's got it. So that's cool. All right. So we're going to talk about that. Let me just bring up the strategic reserve as well. See if we've got anything happening in there on that. No real news on that one, so we're going to leave that out. Oh, we might talk about FG next. This is a little story there, and so we'll do that too. All right, so we've got a few extra pieces to talk about today, but let's get into the crypto markets and let's see where that's gone at the moment. Welcome everybody. Don't forget to get in the chat there as well. What do we got saying? We got big crypto market at the moment, 3.814 trillion. So yeah, we've come down a little bit there, haven't we? Come down a couple $100 million there. Not much fun. Down 4.5%. We got the coins on CoinGecko, 18,888. So good luck there. Bitcoin, of course, the big pullback, 3.8%, down 109,000. So we're below that 112,000 mark that we like to keep, but we're still over 100K quite nicely. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum at the moment down 6.9% at $3,866. So we are getting a little pullback that we expected before we get our big run up. And so, good luck. You can pick up Ethereum a lot cheaper. That's all I can say. XRP is down 6.4%. Now, we got XRP at $2.74 at number 4. We got BNB at number 5. Has dropped below that 1,000 that it recently hit, down 7.2% at $945. So BNB, quite a big pullback there. Solana down 9.1%, $192 at number 6. Number 8 is Doge. That's down 7.7% at 22 cents. And then number 10 is Tron at 33 cents, down 1.9%. So Tron now not down too much today. And Cardano there dropping even further behind Tron, down 6.2%. And you can see Tron is 31.4 billion and Cardano there, or ADA, is 27.8. So that is gapped up big time. That is huge. So what's that, $4 billion or something? Almost. So that's a pretty big gap now. They were fighting for that spot, but so Cardano, they're getting slammed. All right, so the best performer in the last 24 hours has been Tron. And the best performer over the last week, well, it was BNB, but that is down now too. So best performer over the last week is, it's still BNB, but it's down dramatically, 4.4%. All right, so top performer in the top 100. We haven't got a lot of action, but we've got Tether Gold is at number 98, and that's up 2.5%. We got SUSDS, and that is up 0.3% USDT. So we've got a lot of risk management stuff going on here, dominating with risk off, 0.1%. We've got Fast Token. I'm not sure how that plays into, but it might have some risk management there, 0% there, and we got DAI there as well. So risk management, guys, it's the calamity. We've got the top performers, risk management tools. Let's have a quick look at Fast Token just while we're here, just to see what that gives us on Ethereum. Bahamut, it says Bahamut. Let's see what that tells us about why that's in the list with the others. Proof of stake and activity enabled layer 1 blockchain. Okay, interesting. All right, so there's a bit of a stablecoin there, and a bit of a blockchain, I should say. All right, so that is pretty interesting. Fast Token. Top 1,000 gainers, we've got SQD. That's up 35% right now. Concordium is up 24%. I think we've seen that here before. And Oxy up 33%. So we'll have a quick look at SQD as we do. It's sitting at number 586. And let's look at the price. It's on Arbitrum. They have some websites. So it looks like some dev sites here, So yeah, we probably won't go too much into that, but that is just having a little bit of a pump today. What else have we got going? We got Concordium, which we have looked at before. That's sitting at number 310. That's having a bit of a pump right now off the bottom. 0.5% was down there on the 22nd August. Now at 1.9 cents. This is on, it doesn't actually tell me, CDC scan, not sure. Concordium, I'm not sure. It's just the blockchain itself. Smart money is here. It's build and connect, the layer 1 blockchain for institutions where stablecoins don't just exist. So there we go. That is Concordium. So all part of the risk management thing as well, doing well. And then finally, we've got Oxy. So a quick look at Oxy as well as number 634 in the top 1,000. Pretty bizarre looking price data there. Down 0.5% on the 26th of September. Now it's 7 cents. So a pretty big move there. It's on Solana chain. Neurodivergent coin. Let's see. Is this just a meme or is it something around a new kind of OS, operating system for different kinds of DS minds? And the world's operating system designed around Oxy cognition and the AI agents that support it. So there we go. It's all pretty crazy. Solana partners listing coming soon. lots of promises. We'll see where that lands. But that is Oxy, trending in the top 1,000 right now at number 3. Trending overall is Plasma, Undead Games, and Asta. And Asta, of course, was sucking all the energy out, wasn't it, the other day? It is there at number 3. So a bit of a pullback in the markets. Let's quickly look at the chain now. I've got to move that. We're going to talk about that later on. Let's get into Bitcoin and talk about that. So Bitcoin right now is on the pullback. And we have broken through, of course, the yellow line, which is the 52-day moving average. We'll get rid of the overlays. We're broken down through that 50-day moving average, the yellow line, and the 200-day moving average right now is 106,200. We're above that still, so we're still in the range, still in the ranging here, but we are below the 50 days. So as long as we hold 106,000, I think we're looking pretty good. That is where we are right now, and of course we're expecting the rally into the end of the year. Not too much else to say about that. Let's see where we're going here with Ethereum. Now Ethereum here, we had a lot more information on here because obviously this is where a lot of the capital is coming in from Tom Lee and others, Bitmine Immersion, etc. And we can see I had the bearish scenario here. Remember that? This would be the dip before the rally. And we have kind of hit that bottom. Well, we're slightly below where I've got the triangle indicating, but we've basically hit this previous resistance area, and we're now basically pretty much at that level. Who cares about $100 or so? But that's kind of where we are right now. So I did have this green line here. So that's the PulseChain strategic reserve. So that's where that value was, that break even. So we're just above break even now. Boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo. But that scenario has played out. And that we've broken through the 50 day as well. Now the 200 day for we'll just get rid of the overlays again. The 200 day is at 3,400, and the yellow line, which was the 50, was at 4,200. We are now just at 39. So pretty important area to hold. So this is where we wanted that pullback before we go on to the big move. And so we'll add back our overlays again. And the big move would be here, right? So right in here through the end of the year. This is based on Tom Lee's expectation of around at the low side $8,000, right? So I think we have that in the chart. So we're going to move the chart up here. And you guys know when we get a parabolic move, it's pretty severe. So don't be surprised by any of these sort of huge price re-rates. That's what happens when the good times roll, and all happens pretty fast. So here we are. This is typically considered that sort of last dip area, and so it would be really important to hold this level in particular for that. But we could still bounce off 3,400 if it came down to that. But you wouldn't want to go much lower than the 200-day moving average, right? And so this is the big upside, and so the bottom end was 8,000, and the top end is 15 to 16,000. So that is the part there. So the idea. I don't know if we have any drawing tools that are used to familiar with it, but the idea is maybe we come back down, and we maybe sort of go like that sort of thing. There's I don't know, maybe not quite that steep, but maybe it sort of go something like that. So that's kind of the idea, that we might get something. Let me get rid of that. I've got too many. So we might get something like that happen. That's the idea. Drawing skills. Frank White says, "Bang bang." A Pulse gang. Good to see you, Frank. All right, so that is the jump. So we did have our pullback scenario play out, and it would be pretty cool to hold it here. It'd be a pretty really good spot. The second level would be 3,400 at the 200 day. We certainly wouldn't want to really breach that for this big move into the end of the year, and so still feeling pretty good about where we're heading. So a dip is in the game, and we do know that we've got the strategic ETH reserves are buying up a lot, so they're not going to really stop. In fact, given the price where ETH is right now, that's beautiful, right? So we know Tom Lee says, "Oh man, I want to get all this ETH cheap. I want to get it cheap because he wants to get in nice and early, 10-year play and all that." He knows a lot of stuff that's happening, and so if he can get Ethereum cheap down here, he'd be loving it, right? And so will all the other acquisition vehicles, because they've got tens of billions of dollars that they want to flow into this in the near term. And so, Bitmine Immersion is still only at 40% of their target. They've still got to buy. They bought 2.4 million. They've still got to buy another 3.6 million Ethereum. So they will be loving this I doubt they'll be scamming to try and get capital to buy into this move, right? So that is Bitminer mission. Sharplink, it's 838,000. Then they're targeting 1 million, so they've only at 84% right now. So they're still going to buy more. And then Ether Machine, of course, we got some big numbers here. 10% of the ETH supply. I don't know where they've got that. I have looked for the targets, but I don't see ETH Machine having a supply, so I'm not sure where that's come from, that number. But we do know they want to get more. Obviously, we've got the ETH Foundation slowly going to decrease in its holding size, right? Profit taking for staff or whatever else they use the money for. And then PulseChain SAC pretty much stay there, not expecting that to change. And of course, that is, this is just back to where it basically was now, isn't it? So we're at 166, so pretty much back, just slightly ahead of where we were. So no much change there with the old PulseChain SAC. Now, probably is the case is that won't change. Richard knows, with the path of ETH virtually inevitable, that's just going to go up in value. So I'm not expecting too much to happen there with the strategic reserve, just to get more valuable. Pretty much it. What else we got there? We got ETHZilla up here as well. So we've got all these ones that are over 100,000 now and holders. We've got 10 of those now. And then, of course, we're expecting some big buying, from ETH Machine. The other one we're expecting is Nexus, FG Nexus, and they're expected to buy 10% of these supply as well. I don't know where that number's come from either. We do know that Nexus has raised $5 billion, and I don't think that's changed, but they haven't ended up disclosing or purchasing anything yet, so that's still to come by my accounts, but we will check that up as well. And then, that's all coming up there. And, of course, we've got all these other entities coming in to buy. So it's just early days, as I say, and everything's going pretty well. Now we can see that by the pace of the purchases here. So set to see the SERs. So these are the purchasing here. And you can see it's just going up and up. So since April the 11th sort of started off, PulseChain, of course, was in nice and early. And now you can see, all the, let me just click on there, some of these. Just trying to see whether we got, this is all kind of new on that one. But you can see all the entities there starting to rise up there. And now we've got this massive, the green areas, the SER, the strategic ETH reserves, and they're up to now 5,255. Isn't that amazing? So it's all happening pretty fast. And then down the bottom here, we've got the ETFs, right? The ETFs also had a big rally here in July, right? Look at that, all the ETF value. And just like we're seeing a lot of corporates moving away from, a direct kind of buying, we're seeing them going into the ETFs, not only for Bitcoin, but we'll probably see this trend happen in the SERs as well, and the ETFs for corporate buying. So we're going to get a bit of both. We've got the specialist vehicles picking up ETH reserves, and we've got our corporates and other entities picking up through ETFs. Seem to be the preferred vehicle with the custodials, right? They hold the custodial there. So that is where we're at right now. And the last big update we had, or the last update we had, was FG Nexus on the 24th. And they had 1,600, which took them to 50,000. But they have got, they did a $5 billion capital raise, which I think they did achieve. And so we're expecting that to be a big buyer coming forward. That would put them, where they put them? Put them, number 2, possibly. If they bought the Ethereum, obviously they pushed the price up, but number 2 there. And all these guys are competing. So that's kind of where we are right now. So that is a nice little gift in the hand right now with a little pullback. We got Matt and Bali. Howdy, everybody. Good to see you, Matt. No one here, Superman. We must be early. yeah, that's true. Super duper early. So that is the little pullback we expected. So no surprises there. And we've got little triangles. Little triangles there. All right. Now let's jump back and check out. We're going to go to PulseChain next and see where PulseChain is, because I got PulseChain. What the title of the video? PulseChain Get Ready. That's what I got. PulseChain Get Ready. And the reason why is because I just think that we're going to have a move very soon. Is my guess there. Now, before we get into a lot of stuff, I want to talk about the security side of things. Now, there are more sophisticated scams happening on PulseChain. Particularly using pump ties, ironically. Obviously, pump ties is designed to be safer, so it makes the token itself safe. But people can set up, X accounts and websites and things like that, which look real because they're using AI website generators and things like that, all sorts of fancy tricks. They can pop a website up, make it look real. They can put X accounts up, make them look real. So you do going to have to. I'm sorry to everybody, including myself, but everyone has to be extra critical and extra cautious, right? So just encouragement out there. If you see something that looks insane, typically they'll make little mistakes. Like there'll be little giveaways that you don't normally see before that just don't make quite sense. Then go with that, right? So just be very careful out there. More sophisticated forms of trickery are going on with websites and X accounts and things like that. And so you just need to be careful. Fortunately, Pump Ties will give you some sense of security around there at this stage. So the token itself is probably fine, but the projects around it may not be real. So just be careful there. All right. What else? I think that's it. That's my speech. Do I get a clap? No clap. Okay, good. Come on, we get fudded. I get fudded. All right, so no clap. Thanks very much. All right, jokes aside. Jokes aside. Who is this guy? It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. All right, so let's get into PulseChain. We got day 867. So let's talk about that. Day 867. We got a gift in the hand. The gift that keeps on giving is the PulseChain. We're at day 867, and we're at quadruple 0317. We're down 8.44%, so a pretty decent day down. Obviously, ETH is down and Pulse is down, and we're sitting at 32% of the mean sacrifice price now for Pulse. PulseX at the moment is quadruple 0216, down 5.2%. The buy and burn, that's sitting at 21.6% of the mean sacrifice price, and then the buy and burn sitting at 7.79% of public supply is bought up and burned. Ink token $1.29. Ink was the star of the day yesterday. That is down today though, 3.6%, still relatively better than Pulse and PulseX, $1.29. And we got Hex at the moment at 74 hundredths of a penny, down 4.4%, almost 4.5%, and EHEX there down at 22 hundredths of a penny. So EHEX and that PX combined is dropped below 1 cent from yesterday. It is now at 95 hundredths of a penny, 95 hundredths of a penny there. So if you wanted to pack your bags with some good old Richard Cause, you've got a gift in the hand that keeps on giving, so you can get that nice big juicy position for Hex and just wait your time out for the big moves to get ready to go. We do know that we have got a lot of things being put in place right now with PulseChain. We've got all these bridges being launched up. So PulseChain has been connected into all the other blockchains. The cross-chain future for PulseChain looking very good. We know that we've got a number of omni-chain projects coming up that are going to, basically take value from other chains and pull it into PulseChain, like Xgame and SolidX. I know there's a little bit of drama around the SolidX and the LPX yesterday, but the Xgame itself is still coming, and that is holding up pretty nicely there, and nothing too much as I can see. Now, I don't know why with big liquidity pools like SolidX, for example, we'll get into that a bit more, but why would you pull it? Why would you even have it in anything other than the PulseX DEX? I'm a little confused. If you're doing risk management, surely the safest play on PulseChain is PulseX. And so, if you're out there and you've got large liquidity pools, putting them into PulseX is the play to be. Doing exotic things, I think, is probably a lot more riskier. Even if you're trying to arbitrage and help keep the price up, you may end up creating a bigger risk with existential liquidity. So it is certainly of concern, especially when pools like SolidX are the biggest on the PulseChain outside the Richard Cause. So just some few things to take note there. All right, so here we are. This PulseChain. Let's go to the gas prices. We got 811,000 beats right now, 9 cents for a PulseX swap. We got the validator sitting at 52,779, so it's come down quite a bit there, a couple hundred for over the last couple of days. We've got the bridge right now sitting at $104 million. So we dropped well below that 110. I think we were at 109 yesterday, was it? I think that's right. Or 107, 109, 107, one of those two. We're down at 103, almost 104. Obviously, EHEX has dropped down to 2200 of a penny, so it's dragging us down quite a bit there. We do have our snapshot, so let's pull that up again. Snapshot was from the 21st, so that is 5 days ago. And what do we got here? So we're at 113.3 million there. We're at 104 now, so do some math, 6 and 7. So we're about $7.3 million lower than we were 5 days ago. The ETH was 63.69. We're now at 63.05. Hex was 25.1. We're now at 21.5. A DAI was 22 point, just under 22.4. We're at 20.9, so it's down about $1.5 million on the DAI in 5 days. So it's significant. USDC 17.9 down to 17.5, so not as bad there. $370,000 low on the USDC. USDC has been one of the shining lights, right, because of all the bridges that we've been opening up with Liberty Swap. And of course, we've got the ramp up of Hyperlane happening now. That does take time to ramp up, but that is slowly ramping up in terms of its mechanisms. We've got USD Tether was 5.7 million. We're at 5.7. We're down about 50K on that, so 55K on the old USD Tether. So not too bad, except for DAI. DAI's been the one that's got particularly hit in terms of the amount of funding there. But we're still at 104 million. So, it's not the end of the world. Remember way back, we were down at like 35 million or something. So that's a lot better than that. Still a lot better. All right, so that is the bridge, the old PulseChain. Should we check out the rest of it? 21 million in volume. So, we've been stuck around, 12 to 14, $15 million for most trading days. But here we are up at 21 million. Unfortunately, it's not, not the greenest environment, but, PulseChain is not really, we've still got some green candles. So at least that's something. We've had some days recently where we've only had a few green candles on any of the top 100 that are trending on the trending line. But today, at least we've got a few that are still green. So we've got 9mm, the second biggest DEX. And the second biggest DEX right now is turning over $2 million in volume. And if we look at the volume on that, it's primarily the Richard Hart cores and Coast and things like that. It seems to be the ones that are driving most of the volume now. But 9mm is up at just below 1 cent, 9800 of a penny, and a market cap at 977K, which is super cheap for second biggest DEX on a $2 million volume. I don't know, you decide. But we do know that once we do get PulseChain on the run, this will get re-rated pretty severely, no doubt. And they are a team that's actually giving daily updates and regular updates and things like that, and still doing cool things. So 9mm still out there. UFO is up 8.3% versus the INC peer, and that is not too bad given the thing. I mean, it's all down at the bottom, but that's not too bad. Looking a little bit green there. Sparta with the old Hex reserve is at 7.15%. Let's have a quick look at that chart. And we can see it obviously down today, but having a little bit of a comeback here on the daily. Let's have a look at the ratio to Pulse though. And it's holding up pretty well, isn't it? So 2400 right now is the old ratio. That's on the daily, guys. So it's actually holding, after that pump that it had back here on the 1st of September, it's actually holding up pretty well. 2400. What was that peak there? 2600. So, it's not bad. I mean, it's not as like the first couple of days, but it's certainly holding up pretty well amidst where PulseChain is right now. So presumably, PulseChain gets a rally, Hex gets a rally, then that should hold up pretty well since it's got the Hex reserve in it. Won't get any relativity plays on that, and it should be a good leverage. X game, of course, this is the first is pump token. I'm not going to use that peer, but that is up 6.7% right now. SolidX, this is the pump tide version. The yellow one, remember, is the main one that people are after for staking. That's the one that's actually down with the old change lately. Up 6% right now. Phoenix been around for 8 months, up 6%. Swarm been around for 27 days, up 5%. Pulseland, which was the darling the other day. And of course, Moon King and all that were pumping this. They actually had bounced of 000 1400 is now 000 2000, having a little bit of a comeback there. Not bad. Let's have a look at the pulse ratio. And of course, people are expected to do a big land grab on here, so this could end up being a nice little play. And it's going to have the squid games and other things inside it, isn't it? So a whole PulseChain world. So yeah, let's see. For those that are single, you might be able to get married in there. I don't know, whatever. Okay. I don't know why I find that funny, but that's funny. We've got DevC at the moment is the number 9, up 5%. And then we got number 10 is VVouch. So if you put the pulse in, you get the VVouch up 4% there from good old the Vouch team. Damn it, I forgot his name again. Forgot his name, that's embarrassing. It's the worst. I'm the worst. All right, so there we go. Vouch at the moment. So that is at number 10. It's gonna. I had it yesterday. Remember, I got the name right yesterday. Number 11 is 4% there. World's greatest PDI printer. So good old OG Webchef there. GoPulse at the moment is holding up pretty damn well. GoPulse, man. Look at that chart. What the hell? 9.7 cents. So yeah, it's had some drama around the swapping, of course, with pretty bad trades, but the price itself is holding up pretty well. Let's have a look at the ratio to Pulse. GoPulse, yeah, it's been coming off the bottom there. It was 2,100, now 3,000. So anyone in GoPulse seems to be doing pretty well, despite the controversies. What else we got going? We got PDC PulseX here up 2%, Hex 2% there. I think it's the pub tires, right? No, that's the real Hex 2%. And then we got the X Game, which is still holding. This is the one I want to look at as Pulse. Still holding it very well in anticipation. So it's at 1.5 cents, holding up very well in anticipation of X Game going live, right? So that is the big one coming from Firewell. But yeah, he did some drama around SolidX yesterday with the LPX funding. And I'm a little confused at the idea around that, given that it was already in mostly 9mm. I think a lot of the liquidity was 9mm. Was it 9mm? Yeah, 9mm, 9mm, or 9 inch. Can't remember now. But you would think that the liquidity of that size would be in PulseX, would you not? That would, when you've got biggest liquidity pools outside of the cores, would you not think the safest place for that would be in PulseX? Yeah. Welcome to the Twilight Zone, where you just opened up the door this morning when you woke up and suddenly found yourself in the nightmare of. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so there we go. We got X Game. We're waiting for this. I'm very excited about this. I cannot say enough. I'm very excited about this. This could be the killer app on PulseChain. There is at least 2 now. This was the first one, but now we've got 2 potential. That could be a killer app for PulseChain. And so, yeah, crash game coming. Multi-chain, omni-chain, affiliate, the program 30%. We've got Solid Trader operating already. That seems to be working very well. And the X Game is coming. It's got its a GLI 19 certification, so that's fantastic. And so on. So yeah, let's keep a lookout. Could be launching within a few weeks. But I understand there were from Randy Lusky there was going to be a testing, so that's going to play there at the moment. That is X Game. We might check out on X Game. Should we go have a check out? Let's go do it now because we're talking about them. We might as well do it. Let's go check out on the X Game. X Game. See if they've got any updates. X Game. So X Game right now. Let's full screen that. No real updates there that I can see. No updates I can see. Panos did have a space yesterday talking about PulseChain and X Game soon. X Game is weeks away, he says. So this looked like the time frame. So everything's just a little bit later than everyone. We all get used to it, right? Everything's always a little bit later then, but they're definitely coming in October from the looks of it. So that is X Game. And SolidX been putting out some stuff. Capitulation alert. Yeah, so this is around SolidX. So we might keep that up because we're going to talk about SolidX shortly. So X Game. What else? We've got Pump Tires Die, obviously up 5%. Ink Dollar is supposed to be a stable coin. That's pretty much stable. And then we got this one here from 6 months ago, Surgical Trainers, flat at the moment. So that's pretty much it. Everything else is slightly out of the money. Pulsalium Farms is pretty much flat though. Let's have a look at that. That's currently 7 zeros on Pulsalium Farms. Chart is, it's come down, but that's the way it is with a lot of farms. We got 7 zeros at 9,300, and the pulse ratio. So look at that. Is pretty flat. So it's been pretty flat for a couple of weeks now at 0.0029 on the old Pulsalium. What else we're going to talk about here? I'm going to scroll down. Saw some minimal. The corporate pretty holding pretty well. 4.3 cents. Hasn't really moved much, has it? And they're sitting on like a big pile of cash. Big pile of cash there. And I think we're still waiting for the official Floyn listing. So we'll keep a lookout for that. And one of our top 4 opportunities for getting institutional investing into PulseChain. Although I didn't, I've got a few updates I need to do, a few things I need to be doing around that. So that is Saw Some Minimal. Let's scroll down a bit further down here. Keep scrolling. I'm looking for the SolidX at the moment. SolidX is down here. Did have a bit of a flash crash yesterday. This is the big pair here, SolidX, and it is on a 9 inch. So 9 inch here. on the poll. Now, I would think, you know what? I would think that this would be in and like I said earlier, PulseX farms. I'm not sure why it would be in anything other than a PulseX farm when you have such, relatively the bigger liquidity on the poll. So still confused by that. Not sure the logic there. But hey, it is what it is. People make decisions. We're at 6.19 in terms of the price, so $6.19. But we did have a little bit of a flash crash, I think. Let's look at the daily, hourly there. So that was early in the morning. It dropped down to $5.27. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. You got to remember, only recently it was up at 7.40, etc. So when's the last day? Actually, it was up, $10 only on the 14th of September. So it's come all the way down. Against, obviously solid X game has been up. So there's probably been a lot of people chasing that, and that's not surprising, especially in a down market with thinner liquidity. 12 days down about 46%. So there we go. Now we thought it was a good opportunity at $10. It must be a fantastic opportunity down at $5-6. However, the bit of controversy around the LPX shifting there. Pros and cons to that move. Pros and cons. All right, so that is where we are right now. What else are we looking at here? Oh, yeah. So Firewell said capitulation alert, selling at rock bottom prices, talking about SolidX there. That's the market forcing weak hands out, and it usually is the fuse for the massive green candle rally. So, you can decide. I'm not going to tell you, but, maybe SolidX is going to get some action, some love. That's all I'm going to say. Stay solid, stay wise. The bull run starts here. So you take that with what you will about that, but it could be an opportunity. And of course, he's talking about the capitulation that we saw in that chart there on the old SolidX. All right. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Yes, this is the controversial part here. So today, the SolidX Foundation made, now what day? That is the 25th, so a day ago or so. Today, the SolidX Foundation made a significant deposit of $28 million worth of SolidX tokens into LPX, and this is the controversy, right? I don't see why. It's a little bit weird, but anyway, I've heard some big SolidX holders are panicking over this move. Not surprising, to be honest. But here's what I need you to understand. I'm here to build the best ecosystem on PulseChain, one that can thrive across every market cycle or bull or bear market. LPX will provide the following benefits. So these are the pros, basically. These are the pros. Chart defense during sell-offs. So, if there's someone, bigger accounts sell off, then a bit of chart defense there. Ever increasing price floors over time. So ratcheting up the SolidX price there. Arbitrage bots on SolidX LPs. Competing with each other, competing with other bots on PulseChain who are always bridging out their profits, of course. We've seen some good analysis there from Dipcatcher and others around that. Every move I make is done with the intention of improving the SolidX ecosystem, and by consequence, I'm helping PulseChain as well. We all saw the pain PDI saga brought to PulseChain, and that pushed me to ensure everything similar doesn't happen to SolidX. Now, I understand there's a little controversy around the LPX code. And so that's where it is. So we'll probably try and find a little bit more on that, but certainly interesting risk rewards with that move. SolidX now has its own foundation. Our security setup is better than ever, and this is the question I would have over that. So that's the question I would have. We are really ready for altcoin season, ready for green candles, ready to scale, ready to dominate. So things are ready to move in the old SolidX and X game ecosystem there. As long, I guess, as LPX, isn't going to put in the liquidity at risk overall, the total liquidity, then maybe it's okay. But I would have thought a simple PulseX system would have been just a much better play there. But anyway, I really believe SolidX is one of the best stores of value across the chain. Time will tell, mark my words. To everyone who stayed solid, to everyone who understand what we're building, thank you. This is only the beginning. The future is bright, and it will shine brighter than you could have ever imagined. Comes from with the whales. Yeah. So as long as LPX, I guess, can't dumpity $27 million of value. It won't be that by the time you dump it, but as long as that's the case, then things will be all right. So let's see what people said about that. Patia said you're invited to use Patia's API for your swap operations. We'd be happy to help you out with that. Nice. Same happened with Top Hat. So the crypto got a coffee going there. Appreciate your security. So yeah. When Haunted responded to KR's space about his LPX security posture, he basically told us it's a trust issue. And that's what we're supposed to not be doing, generally speaking. Now, there are exceptions. I think there's valid exceptions where you can, and we in some ways. But it's a case by case basis. And generally speaking, especially when you're dealing with such a large amount of money, an existential level of money on PulseChain, that is not just a trust issue for those in SolidX, but a trust issue for PulseChain everybody. So that's the thing. Contracts are not formally audited by outside experts, nor are they verified, and that's some of the issues there that I've heard of. So definitely some fingers. Well, now it's not to do with Haunted. I think Haunted is a great guy, but it still puts it's a big deal, bigger than a PDI deal, bigger than a PDI. So it's pretty bad. What a great move. LPX is cutting edge crypto. So yeah, the features are cutting edge, but the underlying holding of the liquidity itself is a question mark, right? And that comes back to the code and etc. Code with attack vectors, the ownership of the assets in there being exploited internally or externally. It's a single-sided V3. You can only get anchor tokens by selling when price goes up. There's not even $28 million on DAI or chain, and that is the current prices. That's from Firestarter there, etc. So yeah, there is a few comments in there. So that is around SolidX. So the dramas never end. The dramas never end on the old PulseChain. We've got Blair in the house there. Hey Blair, good to see you. Hi all. And then we got Eddie says major Rectember shakeout before a nice October breakout. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that October is considered October, best performing month there. So we're looking forward to good things happening, and therefore get ready for PulseChain as well. This last week of wrecked hands, as it were. All right, so that is kind of where we are on a lot of the markets. I'm just looking further down here, see what else is on the move. Unity currently $2.46 right now. The weaker players, we've got Zero Trust down here, down 11%. Remember OG WebChef, Teddy Bear down here as well. Let's have a quick look at Teddy Bear, shall we? James Marie, of course. And see what that is. We got put us on the weekly though. Obviously on the daily it's down at 80.7400, but let's put it on the weekly since it's got such a large chart amounts. And that is it at the moment. So I mean, yeah, it's down dramatically. It's certainly not down at the bottom, but definitely looking weaker at the moment. Looking at the ratio to pulse on the weekly, and we're sitting at 0.0020, almost 2400, but certainly near the bottom ranges. So the glory days, the glory days here of 0.001, they're a long time ago in January this year, and a land far away. So that is some of the stuff there happening on the old teddy bear. But I can't wait for X Game, and of course we've got Coinwell also coming up in October, and that's looking pretty good. Not so much on-chain bet because they've got a stage rollout now, so can't really talk about that much until we see what those phases look like. But it could be ages. So X Game and Coinwell are definitely the big two whales, and we're looking those to launch in October. Both of them push from September basically to October. So that is that. But we are getting some good signs around next game, so fingers crossed. Now, the big thing, of course, is Gladiator Games. Now, Gladiator Games had its own bit of drama, but has moved on. And we've got, the game tournament number 3. So there's a third tournament weekend. The Gladiator Games tournament kicks off. We obviously talked about, gaming. It's just starting to take off right now on PulseChain, just the very earliest. But we've got a number of protocols before we just kind of really, if you thought about it, we had, little tinkery games are out there, but getting decent sort of games out. We kind of had Mafia, which is not fully launched yet. That's been a phased launch, but waiting for the killing part and the access to the vault is what a lot of people will be waiting for. So that's still to come. But Gladiator Games is out there now, fully operating, working, and the game is, it's independent in the sense that, obviously with the drama around the Rome token, which has had a partial recovery, which has been good. The game itself is intact and had a lot of security updates as well. So, it's looking pretty robust. Gladiator Games on the move. We've got the third tournament to this weekend, so it's probably starting pretty soon, actually. Gladiator Games kicks off Friday at 5 p.m. CST time, 10 p.m. UTC. I'm not quite sure where that is from now, but it's coming up. So if you guys want to play, you can do that. This game isn't just a game, it's crypto-fueled combat. There's over $650 in prizes. So the first weekend, tournament one was $650. The second weekend was $750, and this third weekend is $650. Now, as more people play, the prizes will be getting bigger. That's from the founder, Jason. So as the more players there are, the bigger these prizes will get to. So get to a much bigger $1,000. Higher and higher, obviously up and up, depending on the number of players. So the more players, the better. Now the players have been growing, pretty much doubling so far. So we get a doubling this weekend, then you could see much bigger prices next weekend, etc. So that's kind of the play. But certainly a lot of people are enjoying the game style. The other thing is, security stuff has been ramped up this last day or two. And of course, there's more stuff coming for the animation side of things as well. So there's going to be a lot of rapid innovation and updates. You're not going to wait around for months for the next big thing. It's going to be constantly improved, and the gameplay in many ways going to be increased. So that's kind of cool. But at the moment, $650 in prizes, 20 gladiators entering the arena. That'll be pretty exciting. All prize money powered by Rome buys. Now, the Rome token itself is being incorporated into the game a lot more. So not only is it for upgrading gladiator abilities now, you'll also need Rome for doing what they call breeding, which is after 3 weeks, you can then take your Roman gladiator. You need, I think, a male and a female. And after 3 weeks, you can then breed them, and you will require some Rome to do that. So it's going to help take some Rome off the market, and that's going to help support the Rome price as well. So you got the in-game currency, which is gold, and you need Pulse to buy gold, a 1-to-1 ratio. But you also got Rome there. So you got the dual token dynamics in some ways, but there's only one token Rome, and that's had a recovery there. There's the future of P2E, pay to earn, or play to earn, I should say, not pay to earn, play to earn. Compete, earn, and strengthen the system with every battle. Will you rise in the glory? Now, I've seen some good activity in Telegram too, even though some of the Telegram groups are a bit quiet at the moment with the prices down. Gladiator Games does seem to be having a good vibe in there, so it's kind of cool. So cool for that, cool whip, as we say. So I'll do a repost there, and you know what they say, all for Rome, right? All for Rome. I might as well say, see you on the battlefield. Now, I did come in average last week on Tournament 2, and I ended up getting what did I end up getting? I think I got a legendary spear. So I didn't get any of the cash prizes, but I did get one of the weapons, which is probably more valuable in many ways. As the secret said. So that's a legendary weapon. That's going to make my my gladiator a lot stronger moving in for the battles. All for Rome. Pretty cool. We got Jason there, the founder there, ready for battles as well. Mu Yang. Kind of cool. We got a lot of people in there. Pretty cool. So not bad. All right, so that is out there at the moment. I'll post the link to that in the chat there if you guys want to get into, if you like gaming, a bit of gaming, and you can get hold of that. Now, I did see a post to easy way of getting onto the game that was posted. So we'll go scroll down here, and that is this one here. So this is how easy it is to get on there. First of all, go to the website. Second, connect your wallet, your crypto wallet. Now, use the DGM wallet as always. That's good crypto practice no matter what the protocol is. And then, of course, number 3, create a free gladiators. The gladiators are free. You can create as many as you want, and you can upgrade them as well on the gladiator. And also, you can buy all craft weapons to equip your gladiator. You can also practice against fighting AI battles, and also, you can wager as well in individual battles between you and somebody else. And also getting gold. You can buy gold with Pulse, 1-to-1 ratio, and also joining tournaments once you got some gold. There is an entry fee for the tournaments. I think they're changing them. So last week it was 300,000. I'm not sure what it will be this weekend. We'll find out. But also if you're battling in there, there's gold wages as well. I think last week it was 20,000. So we'll see how that goes. It's basically 20,000 Pulse. So we'll see what they were. And of course the cash prize there will change week to week. And the bigger the game grows, the bigger the cash prizes will be. It's pretty much the idea there. So that is Gladiator Games. So yeah, Games is really starting to be a bigger thing. Obviously, we've got X Game coming up too. We've got Giza, going to be another Mafia game. We've got Mafia itself. And so, gaming is going to be an important part moving forward in the old PulseChain. Certainly adding a lot of value there. Now, there might be a few interesting things happening as well moving forward there with the old Gladiator games. So keep a track on that. We even got Xavier, the big influencer with 480,000 followers, talking about Gladiator games. So he likes gaming, obviously. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Got some nice comments there. So that is Gladiator Games Tournament 3 this weekend, and it's called the Return of the Empire. The Return of the Empire. Isn't that cool? Tournament 3. All right, so kind of cool. That's some cool stuff happening. So if you want to get in the game, I'll be there. You'll be fighting me if you do. Good luck. No, I'm average. I'm an average player, but hopefully I'll slowly get better. I think slowly get better. I might be able to get into the cash prizes. Instead of funding the cash prizes when I lose, that's funny. So kind of cool. What else are we going to say about that? I think that's it. I don't want to say how don't want to be the weak link in the game, but yeah, I'm average at the moment in the game. But I'm getting better. I'm better. At the beginning, I was really bad, but now I'm not average. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. It's 56 minutes on the hour. PulseChain, get ready, man. This dip's really cool. You can pick up Ethereum and Bitcoin a bit cheaper, particularly Ethereum. And of course, PulseChain right now is just a deal. What a deal to get into scooping that up before we get ready to really rock it. So we've got the big whales launching October, Coinwell, X Game. We've got a bit of a small gaming boom going on right now. Gladiator Games leading the way. We've got all the bridges opening up. So we've got Liberty Swap ramping up to 40 chains. We've got Hyperlane ramping up to 130 chains. That's all just happening. That's just going to ramp up over the months ahead, and therefore that leads us access to liquidity. So a lot of cool things happening, guys. And the first big push there, I guess, with the whales is to gain attention multi-chain and get some of that value flooding back through to PulseChain through different means. So that's kind of cool. So things are getting ready for takeoff. And of course, we've got Richard Hart Promotions out there. They've been looking to get 1 million of those iPads before the end of the year out across America. And that will have an impact as well. Whether you think it's 0.5% or 1%, whatever I think the conversion rate's going to be, it's already starting to have some good effects there, and the ramp up time. Is that about it? Yeah, good prices right now. Pick up heaps of good Richard cores and Ethereum and things like that. So good luck with everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to catch me for tomorrow's show, 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, happy PulseChain Day. Because you got gift in the hand. All right, take care. Bye for now. See you on the battlefield. Gladiator Games. The Return of the Empire. All right, bye for now. See you in Telegram.